Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Laura Wasson. You're watching Closetista TV live, our very first broadcast of the season. So excited you can join us. We're here with the lovely jewelry designer, Bita Pourtavoosi, right here in New York. We're very excited to have her, and we hope you enjoy seeing all of her beautiful pieces. Now, Bita was very kind and gave us a whole mess of really awesome jewelry, and we just don't have time to talk about it all right now. So all of these pieces, except for our very special exclusive, are available to shop right this minute. Please wait till after the video's done. We want you to stick around for that. But as soon as it's done, see something you love, shop it right away. Also, because we're live, you can interact with Bita in real time. Have a question for her, just want to say how pretty your hair looks or how much you love her jewelry. Tweet at Closetista TV, or you can message us on our Facebook wall. We're going to be keeping our eyes on that, see if we get any messages. And always sign up for the newsletter. We have hidden promotional discounts. You never know when they might come up. You might get that 10-20% off, and you're gonna want that. This stuff is so pretty. So let's get started with our very first piece over here. This is called the Machine Meets Nature necklace. I really like the name. I think it's really interesting. It is comprised of 24 karat gold-plated brass tubes with black lava beads. So tell me a little about that. I'm curious where the name came from and how you got that idea.
Well, basically, when I created this piece, usually when I create a piece, then I kind of figure out the name after I see the piece. So this one kind of reminded me a little bit of like a lot of machine work and hard machinery. So I tried to kind of incorporate that with the whole lava thing. So lava is very very natural material. It comes from, all that. So I basically thought kind of two opposite things, where it's machinery, like a man-made item, and something that's nature-made, kind of put them together. So that's where it comes, like where machine meets nature in this whole piece.
It's really interesting, and it actually fastens in back with this nice little loop and hook closure, so it's super easy to wear
and adjustable, so you can make it short and long. So
it sits really nice, like right up here, kind of like that very fancy collier, really beautiful with kind of an open shirt, very very elegant and chic. But if you don't want something like right up here, you can lengthen it a little bit, and it looks beautiful too. This next piece is actually very similar to the Machine Meets Nature necklace. This is the Machine and Chain necklace, and it comes in a whole beautiful variety of colors. So tell us a little about this one.
Well, I kind of wanted to make a little bit of a spin-off of this one, something where it's more of a chain style, because it's very big right now, chain and pearls and mixing and all these different metals and stuff. So I tried to think of how I can incorporate something like this into that kind of version. So I basically did a tinier version, but multi-strands.
Right. And you can see it's beautifully draped. It sits really nicely on the chest. These beads are actually lime green dyed jade, which is super interesting. This piece is actually turquoise dyed jade. I had no idea. I always thought jade came in jade green color.
Right? No, there's a bunch of different
it's really cool. And this is actually rose gold, which you use a lot in your collection. This is rose gold plated brass. It's really beautiful, very warm on the skin. What do you like about rose gold? I see you're wearing it right now, actually.
I love the blush and the glow that comes from rose gold. I was always a gold fan. Most of my stuff is gold. And then when I started branching off of gold, I instantly went into rose gold, because it just has this glow that you just can't really find in any other color, and it has this little blushy, and it kind of brightens up the face and gives a little bit of color, or your hands, or arm, wherever you're going to be wearing it.
It's almost like a really good bronzer.
Exactly.
It's like the bronzer you've always wanted but can't find. This is going to do that for you. And I forgot to mention, the Machine versus Nature necklace is $88, so it's really reasonably priced, and this is only $66. I mean, you don't even have to think about it. You're wondering how you're going to spice up your old fall wardrobe, not really sure if you should invest in new pieces. This is the stuff you should invest in. don't. It's not going to break the bank. And you buy those crazy expensive lattes every day anyway. Put your money to something good. Who doesn't want a beautiful piece of jewelry?
Especially handmade.
Especially handmade.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. You don't find that every day, especially not at these prices. I do want to pause for a minute and talk a little about you. Tell us where you grew up and how you got into jewelry designing. And
well, basically, I grew up in a very small town. Very inspirational town, to tell you the truth. There's a lot of Middle Eastern people around and stuff, and I come from a Middle Eastern background, so I was always very involved in being very ornate. And I was always interested in jewelry. And I always found myself when I was little going into like my mother's jewelry box and stealing her jewelry, and I was a painter ever since I was 5 years old, and I was into fine art painting, realistic painting, and I found myself always getting very involved in when I do a portrait or something, very involved in the piece of jewelry that was on the person. So later on, after I figured out what I wanted to do, that all started to make sense in my head. And I was always very interested in layering jewelry and being able to pick out really good finds and all that stuff. And then I went to school for interior design. I got accepted to Pratt Institute.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
it's a really great school. Really great school.
Yeah, and went to my first year. You don't learn your major.
Yeah.
So after that, I just didn't like it anymore. I switched out into jewelry making, and that's when I realized I was so happy.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy I switched out of it and I went into jewelry making.
What you were meant to be doing. That's so cool. So
my blood.
It is, she mentioned before we started filming that she does a lot of her gym shopping here in New York, which is very lucky because I know a lot of jewelry designers have to go to trade fairs in Arizona and places far-flung to get really great gems. And I think these rings, this is the big chunk of stone rings, I think maybe my favorite. I'm wearing one now. It's so pretty. And they come in these beautiful, beautiful different colored stones that I want to spend a little time talking about. But I think the best part about this is it's only $60 for a really gigantic cocktail ring that will be beautiful with your everyday stuff, or if you want to be traditional and just wear it for cocktail hour, very beautiful there. You'd be hard-pressed to find a really beautiful handmade cocktail ring for that price anywhere. I can't think of anywhere off the top of my head. But it's this really great 24 karat gold plated brass, super, super pretty. And this is actually a really lovely faceted hemalite. I don't know that much about hemalite, but it's this beautiful stone that has really great, like shiny, almost mirror-like quality that is kind of rimmed in gold. Is that a natural quality of the stone?
Well, basically when you plate an item, usually you want to have a stone set. So originally when I went to plate this ring, for example, I never knew it had metal qualities in it.
Yeah.
So a little bit of the plating would get onto the stone, and it kind of ended up being a happy accident.
It's really
I just
pretty.
Loved the rustic
and you can't
look
see
of
it so well here because it's right on the edges, but it's this really beautiful, unusual detail that you would not expect, and it kind of adds a nice dimension. But of course, the hemalite is not the only thing that this ring comes in. We also have turquoise, which I'm wearing, and white howlite, which is so pretty. This turquoise just like knocks you out. It's so bright and beautiful, and beautiful, beautiful onyx with the gold. It's so classic, very minimal. Kind of goes with the whole minimal vibe that's going on in fashion right now. And then this beautiful, gorgeous jasper, which reminds me of a robin's egg or a beautiful egg of some sort. It's really, really pretty, and it has all these beautiful irregularities in the stone. So again, gorgeous piece. It's only $60, and it's so pretty. You'll wear it forever. I know this is a really popular piece for you. A number of celebrities have worn it. What has that been like?
It's actually been very interesting. It's funny because originally this ring was the first ring I've ever made in my entire life.
It's crazy.
So it's just funny how it ended up being one of my most popular rings.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, anytime like a celebrity or something wanted to choose something, they instantly went for that. It was very interesting how...
It's such a statement piece.
Yeah.
I think I've never seen anything like this, and it's really nice that it kind of sits across the hand. It kind of gives the feel of maybe one of those 2 or 3 finger rings, which you can't type with. I've tried; it doesn't work. But this, you can type, you can write.
I actually had someone that was testing out my rings, and all my rings have that double finger kind of look, but it's all one ring.
Yes.
And they would say, I need to test it. They would go like this, and they would see if it's actually going to work or not.
There's no point in getting a gorgeous ring that you're going to have to take off as soon as you get into office. Like,
exactly.
Why would you even wear it? It just makes you sad. Anyway, moving along. This is actually a really beautiful set, and you do a lot of stacking sets. It's kind of, I guess, one of your signatures. Would you say that?
Yeah, one of like my classical look that's just going to stay throughout.
It's really great, and I think this was my personal favorite example, although we have a number of examples of her stacking sets. It's called the Rough Sparkle Set, which is really a great name. It's kind of got that tough, chic edge, but it's very pretty. It's not like pretty jewelry or anything like that. This whole set is $180, and all the bands are beautiful, beautiful, hammered, thin, elegant, 24 karat, gold-plated sterling silver and brass. So you start out, you have a whole set, you get 2 bands, you get 1 band with a very, very pretty, classic, freshwater pearl. Who doesn't love a pearl? You get kind of cool pyrite that has a really nice texture to it. It actually does have a really nice texture.
That's where the rough part, comes in.
This is the rough of the sparkle. And then you also get 2 beautiful, my favorite, the Hemalite. This particular piece actually has really beautiful irregularities with the metal. It's so cool. It looks like, I don't know, some kind of old mirror or something like that.
Yeah.
It's ancient and has kind of an element of decay to it. And then, of course, you have to have the sparkle. This is their sparkle. The beautiful champagne cubic zirconia. It's such a pretty, peachy color.
Beautiful.
It's really classic. And it's interesting because you look at this and you see gold, pearl, cubic zirconia. This is really pretty. And then you get these 3 kind of tough, earthy metals that make it really interesting. And the great thing about these sets is you can take them apart. You can wear 1, you can wear 2, you can wear all of them if you're feeling very fancy. Why do you think sets are something that you come back to in your work?
It all comes down to making the customer their own, like making them the designer. Mm-hmm. They can create their own sets. They can create anything. It's very limitless. And they can buy a set. They can wear it separately. They can wear like 2 stacking sets on one hand or something. It all depends on what they want. Mm-hmm. So I'm basically saying, here you go, you be the designer, I'm just going to make it for you and you choose what you want to do exactly.
No, I think that's really great, and the sets come in different sizes. This is a particularly large set. You have 7 rings, some maybe are only 3 or 4, so you can kind of find what you're looking for and incorporate that into your wardrobe. And I think that's really another great thing about your pieces, is they're very glamorous and very elegant, but they can fit into a wide variety of wardrobes. Whether you're really girly, or really kind of downtown, you can find something that makes sense for you, which is not easy. A lot of jewelry designers kind of do one thing. They have one aesthetic, and that's their vein. That's what they're sticking to. So it's nice to see you like doing all kinds of different things. So speaking to that, we have another set here. It's beautiful antique plastic patterned bangles, of course, in the very, very pretty rose gold plated brass. I really like these. They're super, super light, which is fantastic. I see you're wearing one right now, the gunmetal. It's like really, this piece, it comes with 3. It's $105, but you could wear them all together. You could wear them apart. I actually really like this for fall because the color is this nice warm color, and you see all these spice colors coming, especially for this fall. You see those earthy oranges, those deep kind of brick reds, those creams, and this is one of those metals that looks really, really nice with them. One of the special things about this piece, though, is that each of the bangles has a different pattern, which is really, really pretty. So why don't you tell us kind of about each of the patterns and where that idea came from? Because it's really interesting, and it has this wonderful kind of nature-y quality that you wouldn't really expect in this shiny gold bangle.
Well, basically, originally these bangles came in plain metal, and I always wanted to kind of make it a little bit more exciting and like make a little bit more of a glistening effect on your hand. And I thought with texture and with print, you'd be able to accomplish that. So in one of our supply stores, there's just this huge wall of prints, of printed metal, and there's just such a vast like variety. And I kind of cut it down to 5 different prints, and I wanted to kind of come up with 5 totally different prints. So we would have the leaves,
right,
and then like the crushed effect, which is the crushed print here.
Really cool. Almost looks like cracked dirt or something.
Yeah, I thought of like crushed aluminum and then opened up again, and you have that kind of texture. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite prints.
It's really pretty. I had no idea they could print metal.
It's like a stamping technique.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they would have the stamp and then they just press it onto the metal, and then it kind of forms from the stamp.
Yeah. That's really interesting. And these, of course, are all different. You have the really pretty leaf pattern. Almost looks like a fingerprint in a way. Kind of looks like a fingerprint. Yeah. And then these beautiful pebbles, and of course the crackly effect. Super cool. And you know, these look really nice by themselves, together, and this great printing technique gives it a whole different kind of dimension. It's not just everybody wears bangles. I mean, who doesn't have a bangle in their wardrobe? But this makes it really special. You're not going to find, I mean, I can't think of anyone that has a pattern or printed metal bangle, much less. It's pretty unique. Which actually reminds me, Bita has a very beautiful name that she was sharing with me, the meaning. So tell us about your name. It's very unique.
Well, it is
unique.
My first name does mean unique. So I kind of relate really well with my name because I kind of find myself being unique. I kind of step out of the box and do my own thing. So I really feel like when my parents are naming me Bita, they kind of they just knew me already instantly. And my last name was really interesting.
Yes, please. It's very
It's actually pretty funny and interesting. My last name means literally it means feather of a peacock. So that also I enjoy so well because I find myself going towards colors of the the feathers of the peacock. So it also means son of a peacock, so that's also very, very interesting.
Yes, very cool. I'm sure a lot of people wish they had names that interesting. I certainly do. I'm pretty sure my name doesn't mean anything. But that actually is interesting because while all of these pieces are available right now, go shop them, we have a few pieces with pearls that are called peacock dyed pearls. Kind of ties in with your whole name. How did you find those and kind of think, this is perfect?
I was just searching. I just went online searching for pearls because I know I wanted to have like a rustic kind of looking pearl with a little bit of a shine to it, and I instantly, of course, went straight for the peacock.
It's really pretty. They have this kind of like greenish, purpley tint to it. It's very unusual. It's sort of opalescent. Of course, we'll have to wait till tomorrow for that. We have a few other pieces to get to. These gorgeous 2-hoop hammered gold earrings. I mean, nothing is more classic than a gold hoop earring. I probably have a few pairs, but this is a really nice spin on that. It kind of gives it a little movement, a little dimension. Very, very pretty. It's only $40 for 24 karat gold plated brass. Not heavy at all. It's not going to hurt your ear, not going to weigh your ear down. I know that's something that I'm always worried about with earrings. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, basically, I wanted to create a hoop earring, but I didn't want to just do a regular hoop earring.
Right.
I wanted to have a little bit of a twist. And I didn't want it to be static in the ear. That's how I had it hang off. of the ear, so it'll be able to move and be free-flowing and be able to go with the air and the wind and all that stuff in your movement. And I'm very into hammering pieces.
Yes.
I love the whole contrast between matte and shiny, and the way that it glistens and it kind of brightens up your face. So I thought of something where I can make it very a classical shape, something very classical that anyone can wear, but very different at the same time.
Right.
So that's where I came up with the two hoops intertwined with each other.
It's really nice. It makes a nice kind of movement. Our last piece before we introduce the exclusive is this beautiful, beautiful large cosmic cuff. I am obsessed with these. This is, again, the gorgeous turquoise howlite. This gorgeous faceted hemolite. Can't ever say that quite correctly. But it sits really nicely. It's like that kind of classic goddessy looking cuff, that superwoman, modern superwoman kind of cuff. Power. And then on each, this is a detail I literally just noticed before we started filming, but it's so nice. And this is the only, you'll never find this with a piece that's like mass produced. Bita has signed this piece in the metal, and it's such a beautiful little signature. It's such a really sweet detail that makes this piece, I mean, obviously it's very beautiful, but then those kind of really small hidden things that maybe only you notice, not everyone sees, makes these pieces really, really special, and pieces that are going to hang out in your wardrobe forever and pass them on to your grandchildren. They'll be very grateful to have such pretty jewelry. These are only $92, which for a cuff of this size and this like weight and this giant gemstone is pretty fantastic, I have to say. So the last piece that we have to introduce is our very, very beautiful exclusive piece that Bita designed just for us. You won't find this anywhere else. It's so elegant, so unique and pretty. It's called the Triple Suds Glistening Necklace, excuse me, and I have to say, I love the name. We talked a little about it before we went live. Tell us where the name came from.
I was very inspired by the moon and the stars and the whole galaxy, and I wanted to create something based on that. And I created these pieces, and I just thought to myself, how can I possibly, like, what am I gonna name it? I don't want to call it the moon necklace. It was too obvious. And just one day I just saw soap suds, and I instantly thought to myself, glistening suds. It's not just suds, it's kind of glistening because of the gold and from the gemstones and all that. So that's where I came up with glistening suds.
so pretty. It actually reminds me of champagne bubbles, like pooling around the top of the glass. So Gotham chic. And you're actually wearing something very similar to that now. And how do you do this design? Because it's really unique. It has this kind of indented bubble motif. How do you make that?
Basically, I created 4 pieces out of wax. I casted them, and now I get them recasted and mass produced, so I would be able to create a bunch of different designs with these 4 initial pieces. So that's where I created them.
It's really cool, and you can see, you have these tiny, beautiful little suds, but then we also have this gorgeous statement piece. It's much bigger, and it works kind of on all those different sizes. It's a great way to add texture. I mean, who doesn't love a simple little gold pendant necklace you can throw on, you can kind of forget about it. It's not a piece that you have to worry being like, oh, crazy statement piece. Very simple, beautiful for every day. Again, this is not available yet, but you can shop it tomorrow. All of the other pieces are available right now on Closetista TV. Please go shop them. We want you to shop them. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. And Bita, thank you so much for being here. This is really great. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.